What up, what up, what up? It's the one, the only, but what do I know? Boxing, back at you with another one, man. Definitely want to speak on Jamal Charlo, man, and the hate that Jamal Charlo was get for his fight against Masalevsky. Man, I really feel like he's getting, the hate that people, I'm seeing all this hate that people are giving him, man. I really feel like it's unfair, bro. So, why not dissect it? Let's talk about it.
We wanted Canelo Charlo, and I still want that too. I know Jamal more than anybody wants that fight, but this is a really good alternative here, and a quality test there in Houston.
But before we move on, let me ask you about Munguia, because it seemed as if then Charlo Munguia was going to happen. Do you think Munguia and his team wanted that fight?
I have no doubt that Munguia wants a fight. First of all, I would never question the heart of a fighter, and certainly someone as accomplished as Munguia. But Munguia had a deal. He reached agreement. He had accepted the terms of the fight. So I have no doubt, he negotiated out, accepted it, said, okay, I'm willing to participate in this fight in these terms. So for us, his part was done. He accepted the fight. Things broke down over networks and Munguia's promoters request that we bring in another platform to collaborate with. We can get into some of the details on that, but the reality, it just didn't make sense. We tried to make some concessions, alternating, we get the fight and, Munguia's network can get the rematch. Ultimately, that never got anywhere. And, we weren't able to reach agreement. So we've got to move on and get Jamal the best available fight after that.
So obviously, Masalevsky is not a guy that we wanted to see Jamal Charlo face. Masalevsky is actually coming off of not coming off of a loss. He has two losses, one from Demetrius Andrade, the other from Danny Jacobs. He's never been knocked out or anything like that. When I first saw Select, I don't know why I thought he lost to Billy Joe Saunders, but they never fought. So, obviously, it's not a guy that we wanted Jamal to fight. But my thing is, a lot of people are criticizing Jamal, bro. Like, as if Jamal, and here's my thing. Showtime offered a deal with Canelo Alvarez for $100 million to fight Jamal and then to fight Benavidez, right? But Canelo then chose to go the DAZN route. You know what I'm saying? So, that's not, it's not like Jamal didn't try to make good big fights, bro. And I don't understand the hate for this dude, bro. Like, he tried to make the big fights happen. He tried to make the fight with Canelo Alvarez. They offered the money. Canelo Alvarez, for whatever reason, decided to go the DAZN route and fight Dimitri Bivol and Triple G for less money. You know what I'm saying? It's not hate, it's just facts. It's all facts. You can't I know how you could, I know how the sensitive Canelo fans if you don't say nothing just good about him, they automatically assume that you hating. But let me ask you this: how can you call it hating if everything I'm stating is facts? Right? So they offered Canelo $100 million, but Canelo chose to take less money and go the DAZN route for whatever reason. Okay. Now, then Showtime and the Al Heyman offer Jaime Munguia. They offered a fight with Jaime Munguia. They sent a contract for Jaime Munguia, and Jaime Munguia, he was on board for it, but Oscar De La Hoya declined it, bro. Just because Oscar De La Hoya wanted it to be a joint promotion with DAZN, but DAZN wasn't putting up no money. Showtime was the one putting up the money. So it's and then Showtime's offered, they stated that should Jaime Munguia beat Jamal Charlo, then the rematch can be on DAZN, and I think that's more than fair. I really do. I think that's more than fair, because Jamal Charlo is the champion. Okay, Jamal Charlo is the champion. He's the A side. You come see the champion. Absolutely. Go to Showtime. All right, and then should Jaime Munguia beat Jamal, they said the rematch would be on DAZN. So what's the problem? But and Jaime was all for it. Jaime agreed to it. So I don't blame Jaime. But and that's the funny thing, bro. You don't hear anybody criticizing De La Hoya for messing up the fight that you guys say you want. If you guys claim that you want to see Jamal Charlo in a big fight, right? This is what you guys claim. You want to see Jamal Charlo in a big fight, yet nobody blames De La Hoya for taking that opportunity away from taking that opportunity away, you want to put all the blame on Jamal Charlo. That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense at all. Because at the end of the day, De La Hoya is the reason why we didn't get Jaime Munguia versus Jamal Charlo. You can't even blame Jaime Munguia in that situation because Jaime Munguia agreed to everything. He was with it. Shit, he was like, bet, let's fight on Showtime. I'm cool with that. De La Hoya was the one being greedy. So why are y'all putting this blame on Jamal Charlo? Because they tried to get him in 2 fights, 2 big fights. And they couldn't. So then people want to talk about, well, why didn't he get the fight with Carlos Adams? Adams. And to my knowledge, Carlos Adams was supposedly in negotiations with Jaime Munguia once they took that shit off. Then Jaime Munguia pulled out of that fight. So, but by the time Jaime Munguia pulled out of that fight, the fight with Jamal and Mansaleski or whatnot was already made. Because they had to give Jamal an opponent. So I just don't understand why nobody is pointing the finger at De La Hoya or anything. Everybody wants to blame Jamal Charlo, but listen to how much sense this doesn't make. Y'all want to blame Jamal Charlo because Jamal Charlo is not fighting a big name opponent, right? But the reason why Jamal Charlo is not fighting a big name opponent is because of De La Hoya. So how are y'all blaming Jamal and not putting any type of pointing fingers at De La Hoya? That just does not make sense with me, man. So let me know what you guys think. Drop your comments, man. Stop the hate, stop the BS, man. But what do I know?